All right. I chose to do GroupMe for my There's an After That project. I chose GroupMe because it's good for small groups, it's good for large groups, it's really good for any group that you can think of. So anywhere from doing an extracurricular activity after classes to helping with group projects for those classes. As you can see, I put for the subtitle Elevating Group Projects. I've used GroupMe for chemistry projects as well as my math class had a GroupMe chat just for mostly homework, but also test reviews and other parts of that class. So GroupMe is going to look like this. So as you can see on the left hand of the screen right here, there is a place for you to view the chats, which I have selected. There's also a place, this compass right here is where you can find other groups that you might want to be a part of. Right below the compass is where you can see all of the contacts that you have inside of those groups, because sometimes you just need to talk to one person instead of talking to the whole group. And below that are going to be your archive chats. So that's going to be all of the chats that have fallen inactive or you just don't need them anymore. So for example, my math and chemistry groups, I'm no longer in those classes, so we don't need to have those groups or talk anymore. So, and then as you can see with the selected chats that I have a bunch for extracurriculars, and the one at the very bottom is one of my professors that I had for a class that I was taking over the last year. So on this page, I have all of the reviews, and this outlines a lot of the pros and the cons of using GroupMe. So this first one, bottom left, from Elizabeth Bass, is complaining about how it can be a little buggy, it can be a little glitchy, and that is true. A lot of that has been fixed over the last year. As you can see, that's a rather old review, but sometimes those glitches can still happen. A lot of times, a glitch that has happened to me is that I'll click on one chat and it'll for some reason take me to another one. In the middle with John Paul Hare, he said that his experience was overall good. However, there have been some times where he couldn't get his notifications to pop up. I also had the same problem with notifications, mostly on my laptop. On my phone, I didn't have as much of a problem. I'd assume that on an iPad, it would also not be too much of a problem. And then this bottom right one from Patience Worthington is a overly excited review over how it's great for large groups, something that I've already talked about, and that she'll go on to use it in the future and recommend it for other large groups because everybody can have an input. Overall, though, the app has a very overwhelmingly positive review, 4.6 out of 5 stars. And as you can see, most of that are 5-star reviews. Now, some of the pros and cons within the chat is pros, everybody can talk. Cons, everybody can talk. So that can mean that you can get input from the least experienced and most experienced person within 2 messages. But that also means that sometimes the least experienced person will talk too much and have too many opinions, or even the most experienced person may talk too much or have too many opinions. And there's not really a good way to limit that except for talking to them in person. Now, thank you for listening to why you should use GroupMe for being a student as well as extracurricular activities after class.